I have the most evil brother-in-law of all time. He announces at his own mom's funeral that he's going to be selling the house of the family home, and he doesn't care if people live in it, aka me and my husband. First of all, let me tell you how this little weasel managed to get every single bit of the inheritance.
I'm 28, I live with my husband, let's just call him Mark, and our 2 children, and it's in my mother-in-law's house. Mark has an older brother, Ryan, and Ryan has a wife, Lily. After my mother-in-law passed away, Ryan wanted to kick us out from mother-in-law's house because he wanted to sell it. Growing up, Ryan always had this beef with my husband, Mark. They're brothers, but they could not be more different. I guess they turned out like that because the way their parents treated them. Ryan always felt that their mother favored Mark over him. They both excelled in school and sports, but Ryan struggled with discipline. Ryan's what you would call the black sheep of the family, as he often gets into trouble. He resented Mark for being the golden child and their mother for favoring my husband, and they rarely got along. Okay, if you're wondering how I know all this, well, I've been with them for more than a decade. I did not get the chance to meet my father-in-law because he died in a car accident when I was in high school, leaving everything to their mother, my mother-in-law. By everything, I mean the assets, the money, the properties, and all that, because father-in-law did not leave a will since his death was really unexpected and early. They managed to live using what father-in-law left them. Fortunately, she also left them some passive income sources, like shares in a company and a small 2-story apartment. Anyways, you know how they'll say, you'll meet the one when you least expect it? Well, that's what happened to me when I met Mark at the university. I met Mark at the university where we both studied, and we were both first years, and were under the same scholarship funded by the university. As I walked into the office to be interviewed for the scholarship, I saw him waiting outside sitting in a chair, looking over, very confident and composed. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like I saw the one. It was without hesitation. I approached him and struck up a conversation. I asked him if he was also there for a scholarship, and he nodded with a smile. We instantly hit it off and exchanged phone numbers. Later, I found out that we were enrolled in the same course, so we had many opportunities to see each other and study together. So, we quickly became best friends. Not to brag, but aside from Mark being known as a genius, I'm confident to say that we're both good-looking, so by our second year we became that couple in our department where everybody knew us and admired us. A power couple. We had the perfect relationship, and I could not ask for more, but don't get me wrong, though. Of course, it was not perfect throughout the entire thing, but hey, here we are married and happy. So, right after university, we got married because Mark proposed to me on the day of graduation. It was totally unexpected because sure, we were talking about spending the rest of our lives together, but I did not expect it to happen right away. Don't take this the wrong way, okay? I actually found it cute because aside from preparing for the graduation, he was also preparing for his proposal. And he got me the best ring. Our engagement ring is a gold leafy band paired with a daisy oval for my wedding ring. While preparing for the wedding, we were constantly looking for jobs since we were about to build a family. We also tried to find an apartment where we could temporarily stay while we were trying to save up for a house. Anyways, since we don't have a big budget, we ended up with a simple and intimate, themed wedding. It was held in my mother-in-law's garden, which was so big that it could hold events like that. We had a lot of our minds while we were preparing for the wedding. To be honest, since everything was so fast, we were on a tight budget at the time. That's why we decided to have a simple, intimate wedding without spending too much on fancy decorations or venues. My mother-in-law's garden was full of flowers and trees that seemed to fit perfectly with the wedding theme. She graciously offered to host our wedding there, and we gladly accepted given that we were on a budget. It was a magical, memorable day, and we could not have asked for anything more. Okay, enough with that, so. After 2 years of living in our small apartment in the middle of planning on buying a house, because we had already decided that it's time to have kids, we heard some absolutely devastating news. My mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer and needed somebody to take care of her. Mark was the only son who agreed to do so, and his older brother Ryan was too busy pursuing his law career. Mark agreed without hesitation, while I reluctantly followed because who wouldn't? We now have lives of our own, and I'm sure my mother-in-law can afford a caregiver. We ended up moving into mother-in-law's house, which I'm sure you guessed that is a mansion, just from my description of the garden anyways. I'm literally not exaggerating when I say it's a mansion. I mean, the garden alone was bigger than our apartment. So it's been passed down from generation to generation. That's why the house is really important to my husband. Mark and I built a family in his mother's house, and I gave birth to 2 children, a boy and a girl, who grew up with their Grams' love and care. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to get along with my mother-in-law, so living with her is not a bad thing. Unlike what I've read in other threads, there were other in-laws who were abusive and absolute worse. After moving in, we both resigned from our old jobs. Mark absolutely loved looking for work-from-home jobs since he wanted to be mother-in-law's side as often as he could, while I was just helping my mother-in-law with the house, like doing chores. Since I got pregnant, we literally started our family there and formed great memories, so that house became important to me too. Ryan got married to Lily after graduating with his new title. He became even more arrogant, proud, and self-centered. He was too busy with his own life, his own law firm, and his social status, and his trophy wife. He would rarely visit us, but when he did, you can literally see how he looked down on us, and how he often mocked us for being, quote, poor, and living off his mom. He only showed up on holidays or special occasions and always brought expensive gifts and snarky remarks. He became his worst, so I'm not really sure how Lily fell in love with him. Also, he often told us how he had been living too long in the house that we should already leave and just give it to him, which we just ignored because we thought it was so absurd. I mean, how I wish we would have taken it serious. Let me take you back to the day of the funeral. As you all have read from the intro, my mother-in-law unfortunately passed away after a long battle with cancer. Every morning I would wake up and look out the window and see the petals falling, the leaves turning brown, the branches breaking. It was like the garden was mourning with us, losing its life and color, and we were all devastated, but we knew this was coming, and we just had to accept the reality. We had no other choices, and she's gone. We had to move on. Ryan showed up at the funeral that was held in mother-in-law's house with a smug smile and was accompanied by someone, which was very unusual and weird since his mother just died. He did not bother to greet anyone or offer his condolences. He just walked up to the front where the coffin was placed, cleared his throat, and introduced the stranger. I guess he really hated his mother. Anyways, apparently that stranger was the will executioner, and announced that Ryan was the sole heir of everything she owned. Everything. The car, the money, the jewelry, including the house that my family's currently living in. I mean, nothing left for us. Nothing for Mark. I've been living with her for the past years, taking care of her and supporting her and loving her. Right after the announcement, Ryan said that he was going to sell the house as soon as possible, and that my family had to pack our crap and find somewhere else to live because he already found a prospective buyer. He also bragged that the house was finally his now and was worth a fortune, and that he would finally get what he, quote, deserved. Guys, we were absolutely stunned. We could not believe what we were hearing. Not only was it their mother's funeral, but we can't just move out. How could she do this to us? How could she leave everything to Ryan, who had barely visited her? Who had ignored her calls and messages? I felt a surge of anger and disbelief. But I tried to keep calm because I did not want to cause a scene. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming my mother-in-law. She's gone, and she's been a wonderful person, but something here is wrong. Something was fishy. And the audacity of Ryan, how could he sell the house right after his mother passed away, literally announcing it at the funeral? In my anger, can you imagine how my husband felt? I looked at Mark and I saw the pain in his eyes. He was betrayed by his own mother, and on top of that, he was facing the possibility of becoming homeless. I wondered where we would even go. Where could we go? How were we going to survive, and what would happen to our children? Moving out's not easy. Also, There's this tradition in the family that whoever cares for the current owner of the house until their death will be its successor. It was a way of honoring the ancestors and preserving the family legacy. So I think it's just normal that we assume that Mark was the one who would inherit the house. Again, don't think negatively about it. We don't have bad intentions for the house. We even talked about how we would move out of the house if we were given to him to be preserved and open to all family and relatives. But now that we learned that Ryan was planning to sell it to a stranger nonetheless, who would probably tear it down and build something new, to sell it and erase all the memories of generations of Mark's family, Mark was furious. He could not accept it. He could not let it happen. Mark confronted Ryan, and as he shouted, his voice was trembling with anger and grief, while Ryan just looked at him with a smug and cold expression. He didn't seem to care. He just said that Ryan had no right to take away their home, especially since he has never cared for their mother or even helped her in any way. Ryan laughed and said that Mark was delusional and absolutely pathetic. He just shrugged and said that it's his house now, and he can do whatever he wants with it. Mark tried to argue, but Ryan just rolled his eyes and said that Mark was just jealous that their mom left him everything and left with his wife, who was just silent beside him. I know we can consult lawyers regarding the will, but everything is just too much now that we can't even go to the house. So here I am, ranting here to let out my frustrations. Mark is still not okay. I mean, who would be, right? He still tries his best to be okay in front of everyone else, but at night I can hear him silently crying and all I can do is hug him. Now, I'm planning this petty revenge to get back at Ryan, but I'm not sure if I should do it. I'm actually embarrassed to share it here because of how ridiculous it is. Anyways, I don't really know what to do. Can I get some suggestions, guys? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I have 5 updates for you, and you are not going to believe what's about to happen. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, take a second, hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's jump into the first update, and it is a shocking one. Update number 1. I know, I asked for suggestions, but it was too late. I had already done something I might regret. Anyways, I was just hurt by some of the comments in the main post. Guys, regardless of what we know about the house passing tradition, I'm sure my husband will still agree to take care of his mother because I know how deeply he cares for her. So, please stop assuming the worst thing about people you don't know a single thing about. To be honest, the people who commented like that just worsened my stress. This morning, 2 days after the will reading, Ryan showed up at the house with a smug grin on his face. He didn't even bother to knock. He just barged in and started making demands. He gave us a deadline to pack all our crap and get out. He told us that if we still had our things in the house by the time their mother was buried, he would ask the police to escort us out. I couldn't stand it anymore. His arrogance is really getting on my nerves, and I could not help but try to attack him because of the absurdity of his demands. I wanted to punch him in the face and make him pay for what he did. Good thing Mark was there because he was about to stop me. He held me back and told me to calm down, said that it was not worth it and we would find a way to fight out this mess. After that, Mark was just sitting silently beside his mother's casket, while his brother kept blabbering about the house and how we were such a pain in his butt. My husband looked so sad and absolutely defeated. He had lost his mother and his home in a matter of days, and I could feel the little bit of energy slowly draining out of him. My poor husband, Mark had no fight left in him, but I did. Oh, remember that petty revenge I had that I mentioned in my last post? Well, I decided to tell Ryan's wife, Lily, that Ryan is having an affair with his secretary at his firm. I showed Lily fake messages and photos that I had asked my friend to Photoshop. I pretended to be concerned, sympathetic. I told her I was oh so sorry to break the news to her, but I thought she deserved to know the truth. Now I feel like Lily really was convinced and believed that I was telling the truth. I made sure not to give her a copy to avoid it being used against us, and I also told Lily not to tell Ryan that I was the one who told her about it because our relationship is now complicated. I felt a pang of guilt because I knew what I did was wrong, but what Ryan did was worse. But I also felt a sense of satisfaction because I knew Ryan deserved it. He had treated us like dirt and taken everything from us. He had to pay for his sins. Now, I don't know what'll happen, but Lily takes cheating very seriously. And to add to that, Mark and I are now looking for apartments that we can temporarily stay at because my mother-in-law's burial is tomorrow. And I'm sure Ryan would 100% bring the police if we were still at the house. Update number 2. Guys, I don't care if you think I did something wrong. I don't. It's done, and it's what it is. I just wanted to update you all since a lot of people are asking for one, so please stop with all the negativity. Anyways, I know I just posted an update yesterday, but I figured I should give another update because of what just happened. As much as we wanted to avoid conflicts, we could not just leave the house. It's too dangerous for us and our children. Then, this morning, I received a call from Lily asking if she could stay in the house in the meantime because she filed for a divorce. After hearing that, I felt my hand shake and tremble to the point that I accidentally let go of the grip of the phone. I didn't expect that my lies would result in a divorce. I mean, sure, I expected them to argue and take time off. Divorce? But I had to act normal and agree to let Lily stay. Otherwise, she might get suspicious. And when Lily and I got the chance to talk, I felt a huge relief. Apparently, Lily confronted Ryan's mistress without my knowledge. She told me that she threatened to post the evidence that she doesn't even have if the mistress does not come clean to her. I guess the girl got so scared of Lily's intimidating looks and told her the truth, that in fact she had been in a relationship with Ryan for a year. Ever since she got hired, all the guilt that I felt vanished into thin air. Who would have known I was right? Then we talked about the house because we saw Ryan's post of a photo with somebody who had the caption, "Found a buyer, signing soon." We can't believe how fast everything was. Lily was also against selling the house because he knew how important it was to the family. So, as a gratitude for my honesty, Lily told us that she would not consent to Ryan selling the home. Well, then we heard a loud bang. Ryan was downstairs shouting at us that if we did not leave this instant, he would literally call the police. He even threatened us that it would get physical if we did not leave right away. Then Lily showed up telling Ryan to leave. And now that they're getting a divorce, she now owns half of everything he owns, including this house. And because of that, she will not agree with Ryan selling it. I was shocked when Ryan literally shouted back at her, saying that she does not have a say in this because the house is not a property acquired during the marriage. We did not think of that, so Lily got silent. What she said next was so unexpected. She calmly said to give us time because she was pregnant. Everybody fell quiet. We did not expect it, so what Ryan did was give us a week to move out. He then told Lily that if she wanted their child to grow up in a good family, she would choose the wisest option, which was to get back with him. And if not, he doesn't care. Before he left, he told us that he would do anything to get what he wanted, and nothing could stop him. Well, that's all. So, any advice? We don't know how to go about this. We don't know how we'll get the house because Ryan has a point. Also, can his actions have consequences? If there are lawyers here in the comments or something, we would appreciate any hearings or insights. And of course, we could still consult our own lawyers, but it would be great to have some outside perspectives. Thank you. I will update. Update number 3, 2 days later. Hey guys, it's been 2 days since Ryan stormed into the house. We studied the will and found out that the house was actually named Ryan and Lily, not just Ryan alone. After consulting a lawyer, we found out that after a divorce, Ryan needed Lily's consent or a court order to sell the house. So we didn't know what to do since we really didn't know if the house was really sold, but we ended up finding the person to whom the house was supposed to be sold to. We did some online researching and found that Ryan just posted it on social media, and we contacted everybody who showed interest. Fortunately, we found the buyer. We explained every bit of the situation and begged them not to go through with the sale, because the house had a lot of sentimental value. We also informed them about the will and that they might get involved in legal actions if they continued to buy it. Fortunately, they said that they had not signed the papers yet, and they were willing to cancel the sale. They said that they understood how we felt and that they did not want to be a part of Ryan's scheme. We thanked the buyer for their kindness and understanding, and we thought we won. But oh boy, we were dead wrong. So, While celebrating our success, Lily got silent and then mentioned that she remembered something, and that something was unexpected and horrible. She said that Ryan told her to come with him to visit my mother-in-law when she confined in the hospital. What she was wondering was when he brought somebody, it was a witness, according to him. Apparently, he made them sign some papers saying that he wanted to make things right and make up for his absence in the past few years. Well, we were so shocked at this because we did not know about the visit. So we asked Lily what the papers were. She said she didn't know, but Ryan just told them that they were for insurance purposes. Lily and mother-in-law trusted Ryan, and they just signed whatever he gave to them. She said that she thought he was being sincere when we asked her if she still had the papers, but she said she didn't because Ryan took them with him after they signed it. That's where we realized that Ryan may have done something crazy. What if the paper was a modified will, and he had tricked his own mother and Lily into signing it? What if he had used my mother-in-law's vulnerability to manipulate her, and he had planned this all along? After a long debate, we decided to call our lawyer, told him what we knew, and asked if we were thinking anything that could be possible. He said that we need to get a copy of said paper that Ryan had made them sign and see if it was valid or not. We can also look for evidence that Ryan drafted the will favoring him and coerced my mother-in-law into signing it, and it made Lily sign as a witness. So now our goal is to gather evidence to prove that Ryan is a fraud, and hopefully all this soon will come to an end. Update number 4. A lot has happened since my last update, which was more than a month ago, and we finally got the justice we deserve. My husband, Lily, and I just got home from the court and Ryan was sentenced to jail. After the rigorous legal proceedings, we finally proved that Ryan was indeed a manipulator. After gathering evidence proving that mother-in-law was not in her right state of mind when she signed the papers, we showed them to our lawyer, then said that, we had a strong case, that we could sue Ryan for fraud, forgery, and coercion. So we did it. We filed a lawsuit and criminal complaint against Ryan. The court process was long and stressful. Of course, Ryan denies everything and said that we were nothing more than liars. He said that his mother had willingly given him everything and that Lily agreed to become a witness, which in fact was a lie because Ryan told them that those papers were for insurance. He also had the audacity to say that we were just jealous and wanted to take his money. He really took his stand that he had done nothing wrong and that he was the real victim here. But we had all the evidence that we needed. We had the medical records which showed that his mother was confined because of her cancer and was not in a sound mind. It was proven that Ryan forged the will and coerced his mother to sign it under duress, aka while she was confined in the hospital. We had a witness statement which showed that Ryan had lied to his mother and Lily that he had pressured them into signing the papers. I guess you're wondering that if Ryan was the one who drafted the will, then why did he also name Lily as the successor? Well, we just came to the conclusion that Ryan is stupid and thought that by doing that he can hide from suspicion. Well, too bad. The judge ruled in our favor and he ordered Ryan to return the house to us and even pay for damages. Well, that was the last time we saw him. He was taken away in shackles, headed to the state penitentiary, where he'll spend the next 5 years of his life. I could still remember when the officers put the handcuffs on Ryan's wrist. He was hysterically resisting the officers who were accompanying him. He even tried to steal one of their guns. Anyways, what matters is that Ryan is finally behind bars. That's it. Finally, we won. We had saved the house and had gotten justice. We had made Ryan pay. We were finally free of him, and we were so relieved and grateful and glad that this nightmare is over and that we can move on with our lives. I'm glad to have shared this journey with all of you. Thank you for all your advice that you gave us because it truly helped us a lot. Final update 1 year later. Hey guys, so it's actually been a year since the last update, and I just stumbled upon this old account. I figure, what the heck, I'll give you an update. So, what's happened since then? Well, a lot of good things, actually. Ryan is still in prison, serving his 5-year sentence. We've not heard from him since the trial, and we don't care. We're done with him, cut him off. He can rot in there for all we care. My husband and I finally purchased our dream house, It was a lot smaller than my mother-in-law's house, but hey, this is what we wanted. It's a 2-story modern house that has 4 bedrooms, one for each of my kids, the master bedroom, and our office. Oh, and we also have a beautiful garden with a greenhouse. I really miss my mother-in-law's garden, so I thought, why not build my own? Mark and I are now both working, and I can say we have pretty success. I got a promotion at my job while Mark started his own business. He's doing great. He's a web developer, and he creates websites and apps for various clients. He works from home, which gives him more flexibility and time with the family. As for Lily, she's doing well too. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy who's the cutest little thing ever. Lily is staying at my mother-in-law's late house, and while she's recovering from the delivery, we offered to let her stay with us, but she said she wanted to stay there for a bit. So we just visit them often, since our house is just 2 streets away from them. She's also seeing a therapist, guys, and she's healing for her trauma. She's a strong, brave woman, and we're proud of her. This is definitely my last update, as I don't think there's anything else to say. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I wish you all the best. Take care and stay safe.
The absolute nerve of Ryan in today's story. It was so ridiculous that he was willing to do this to his family, and I think he got every single thing that he deserved. I was reading the comment section, guys, and they were absolutely ripping to parts of this Ryan guy. They said he deserved far worse than he actually got. Let me know what you think. Drop it down below in the comment section, guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day. And if you guys want to be a part of these daily internet readings, consider subscribing because there's plenty of Ryans to come. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.